We'll let them catch up to us.
1:30, let's call the meeting to
Yeah.
order. I'm gonna call this meeting of the Carbon County Prison Board to order. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alright, these proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of constituting the accuracy of the written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminated, recorded records of these proceedings. Do we have any guests here? Oh, we do have a guest. We have a guest, and we have Correction Officer Terrell O'Harecheck, who was gracious enough to come here. I have a certificate of recognition that I'd like to read into the record, and I have this prepared. On Wednesday, July 21st, 2022, Carbon County Correction Officer Terrell O'Harecheck was passing by the staff break room in the Carbon County Correctional Facility when Correction Officer Gene Duffy, who was responding to a radio call, began to choke on an object that had become lodged in his throat and blocked his airway. Correction Officer Terrell O'Harecheck quickly assisted Correction Officer Duffy with several hard blows to Duffy's back and initiated the Heimlich maneuver to dislodge the obstruction. Correction Officer Terrell O'Harecheck, without any fanfare, immediately returned to his assigned post. Correction Officer Terrell O'Harecheck's quick thinking and immediate response to a serious situation quite possibly saved his fellow officer's life. Moreover, his immediate return to his post without even providing CO Duffy the opportunity to express his gratitude illustrates his modesty and dedication to duty, which is worthy of recognition and emulation. Correction Officer Terrell O'Harecheck's selfless actions on Wednesday, July 21st, 2022, in aiding a comrade are the epitome of a professional corrections officer and reflect great credit upon himself and the Carbon County Correctional Facility. And I authored that, Michael S. Green, Carbon County District Attorney, as President of the Carbon County Prison Board. So with that, I'd like to present this certificate of recognition. And I'm glad that you came here at least to see us, but we felt it was worthy of that.
All right,
That
thank
was
you.
a job well done and greatly appreciated. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, with that, approval of minutes.
Motion approved.
All right, motion made, second, all those in favor say aye.
Abstained. I was not present at the last meeting.
Okay. We still have the thing, and it's 3 to nothing, because he's abstained, and we have a quorum. We're good, okay. Report of executive sessions held, the last executive session, I believe we held it within the meeting, and we announced what we were in executive session for when we came out, so there's no other reports. Reports of committees, maintenance report.
Sykes Brother was in for their monthly service. Tremco, just an update that I had sent 2 emails to Clay from Tremco to see if he knew how long the rest of the railing system for around the hatch was on back order. I'm still waiting for a response. I talked with Bill from Carbon Engineering about completing the painting at the lines, and he said they're currently holding money back until the contract's completed. As far as he doesn't have a date yet, he said as soon as he has a date, he'll let me know. We had KFS, which is formerly CSI, in to fix an issue with the panels, and they were also in to fix an issue with the intercom systems. They're looking into a few other like bugs and quirks that we're having with the panels. Sills was in to fix the right washing machine in the main laundry. They didn't have the part they needed, so I just had them order the part and send it to me, and then I just put it in when it came. We had a higher refrigeration to work in on the walk-in freezer again. I guess 2 of the defroster heaters weren't working proper, but he got them all working, so there's no issue there. I had trained in to work on a few control issues. Some of the thermostats weren't reading. I mean, if you set it for 70, it was telling the computer that it wanted it to be 80. Well, you can't tell that by looking at it, and we had mares, we were running heat when it's 90 degrees out, and it's like, something's not right here. But, so we got that taken care of. We had A&W in, there was a leak on the rationale unit in the kitchen, and there was a leak outside of the medical entrance. Pump house progress, basically, we really haven't moved forward too much. John stopped in, he came and took the wet end section out, which is one of these he took out to see if he could take it apart and figure out what was causing the issue. And the company's supposed to be sending him a new one, he hasn't heard anything about them lately. He had called and asked me about a SIM card that he needs so they can transfer the alarm system for the pump house over to us, more or less. So I emailed him back saying, can you get me the information on what exactly he needs? I'm waiting on that. That's where we're at.
Any questions on the maintenance report?
I have two things regarding maintenance. One, we let the warden know on Tuesday that over the weekend there was an issue with lighting at the facility. I think within an hour of that, the warden had sent an email, included Rodney. Rodney fixed yesterday or today what he could already. Excellent job, Rodney, getting on that, but it brought up a larger issue. When you're turning off of 93 onto the road, there is no lighting to go at all down that road. And I think it will be an issue at the first left that will go to the training center that way. So it was suggested that we explore lights being added there. One additional step is that if that's being looked into, it's been a concern of mine, I don't know that anybody else shares this, that when you turn off 93, there's no checks to come in there. I mean, you look at other correctional facilities, there's a guard booth and a gate that regulates people coming in there. I know that may be a larger discussion and a more strategic 3 to 5 year plan, but with the training facility, the 911 center, the prison, the animal shelter there, that's really an unsecured area coming in there. That's concerning to me. So those are the two things maintenance-wise, but I really appreciate you getting on that with lights. My guys dropping the inmate off said they had a very difficult time seeing anything, and then there was the concern about that car that swiped in a couple other cars the same weekend, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think we'll have to get on some of that with the signs there also, because now
Yeah.
at the emergency center, people are coming down, where's the dog shelter, where's the prison, where's the fire, training facility? So we're gonna have to do something about it, and I agree with you that, with some of the stories that I heard, that people are just coming down there and walking down and going hunting. I don't think that's a good thing to be parking there at the prison and getting out with your hunting equipment on. So I think that's something to pursue, and the lighting, we're gonna have to look into that. I think it's one of the things, like, maybe we'll meet one day next week. We'll try to figure out, and if Jim or Derek, if you wanna go up there and you have any suggestions, we're just gonna have to put a plan together. It might not happen now, but at least we have something together, and like I said, I think we discussed it, like even a booth that the arm comes down and you have to swipe it or whatever to get in, or, something like that after hours, but,
I mean, at minimum, is there something, maybe if we put no hunting posted signs up, can we do that?
We talked about that.
yeah, that's what I think we're gonna look at, like no authorized personnel, or only authorized personnel beyond.
I think we did that years and years ago. I mean, we've been dealing with the hunting issue up there for 27 years. The place has been open. You see
Yeah.
people walking down in the orange jackets and the guns going behind the jail and stuff.
Now, there is a sign right there that says
Yeah.
some for official or personnel
When
only.
you start coming down the hill,
Right.
there's one authorized
Yeah,
personnel only.
right, yeah. But Rocky, I think too, again, now you're having two roads that are coming together, road signage, right? Meaning
Yeah.
a stop sign, a yield sign.
Well, and I think, we talked about it yesterday, the sign that's there for the emergency center, that we have that has on, we got the funding through this, and, that there, we might just get a sign that would be a map, and the dog shelter's this way, the prison's that way, and you know what I mean? We can, you know, get somebody to do that for us, but I think we have to look into that, you know, that gate is something we're gonna have to do eventually.
And then just lastly, Mark Severcek sent an email with a suggestion, under the maintenance report. He thinks it would be helpful to provide regular updates on the pump house water system issues, since they still seem to be too frequent, unless an underlying issue is finally discovered that will solve the problems. Just so we don't, you know, we don't forget
I
to.
just got an email list from Jody, so I'll have all of your emails, so when anything happens, I'll start making a group email to all of you about
That's
anything
fine.
with the pump house.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on your maintenance report? Any questions? All right, let's move on to work release report.
Okay, the work release program consists of 9 inmates in the period of July 8th to August 15th. 7 inmates are on a work release program as of today. Net income for the month was $13,026.53. And the disbursement was as followed. For the month, $3,025 went toward room and board, $475 for court costs. Inmate payments was $9,336.53, with $190 going into the escrow account. That completes the work release report.
Plan of action committee?
We don't have an update. The last time we met, we were trying to get dates for the GTL for the tablets to come in, so that the warden and deputy warden and the work group could see it function.
Right.
And then also explore the option of getting additional technology on there that could be like a Zoom call, because there was Polycom equipment that was recommended be purchased for there. But if we're gonna get the tablets anyway, if maybe 2 or 3 of those tablets could have that technology on it, why waste the money on Polycoms if we're gonna have this other equipment anyway? So we were trying to get GTL in to do that. The contract for camera maintenance, I'm still waiting on that from JCI, so that we can take a look at that. And correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but that was kind of what we were waiting on
Yeah.
at this point.
Thank you, Ted.
The only update I can give you is up on the ion scanner. I talked to Mr. Edgar about the ion scanner, and he does have a unit for us. He said he wants to get on site ASAP, and he's gonna send me some dates. They'll be available.
Good.
I did get to see one of those in person at the sheriff's conference. The provider was there that had all the different models. So I got to mess around with it a little bit, but I think we'll get more of a demo when we get it.
Okay, next we have warden's report.
Okay. The following, from the census is from July 1st to July 31st. We had 56 male admissions, 21 female admissions, 57 male releases, 18 female releases. Total of 110 males and 120 females as of 7/31 for a population of 130. Total admissions as of 7/31 of this year was 623. Our transports for the month, we had 2 hospital runs, 1 orthopedic run, 6 specialists, for a total of 9. We had hospital duty of 4 days. That completes my report.
Any questions on the warden's report?
Just a comment here again, Mr. Severcek made a recommendation under the warden's report. He thinks it would be helpful for the board to hear any monthly updates on how Prime Care is doing as the health provider, since that was a significant expense for the county, and efforts to provide better and more consistent health care to the inmates. So,
I can tell you, Prime Care has been a big plus for us. They do more, maybe preventative. They follow up with inmates more than we did in the past. The big thing for us has been the mental health care. We have psych doctors come in, we have telepsych. We also just recently got dentists coming into so that We don't have to send inmates out, so they've been a big plus for us.
I think that's where it shows like we're cutting down on the transports.
Transports, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they used to be
That's
the
so-
20 to 30.
yeah, I know,
now
that's
it's
what I
9.
see, it's like,
They've been,
like that's a big improvement.
they've been an asset.
Yeah,
And how about the food vendor?
No real issues. We had an issue a couple weeks ago with milk, but other than that, I haven't gotten any written complaint from an inmate about the food. Staff's eating it once in a while. It's jail food, but it's better than what we had, is what I'm gonna tell you. Yeah. Yeah. It's better than what we had with Trinity, yeah. So, not much in the way of complaints.
we didn't promise Red Lobster, right?
Yeah, I agree.
The warden's report just now, basically on that, and I know it was a little bit off the cuff, but it's basically the same as it was last month when it was there. I don't know if we need a special category or have him report, there's something wrong with it, you know, but obviously, Mr. Svercek could ask at the meeting,
Yeah.
if anybody wants to ask, but if there's something that alerts you to a problem there, but how do you keep saying that, well, it's better than it was before, and
Yeah.
everything's going well?
Yeah,
So I don't think I need to add that into your report, we'll just ask if we have an issue with it. If everybody's okay with that, do you want him to add something in there? I don't know how he quantifies it in any way. All right, now we need a motion to accept the warden's report.
Oh.
Okay, Rocky, second.
Second.
Second by Chris, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we need an executive session?
I do for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Well, if you don't need us afterwards, we will be leaving.
Okay.
Okay, take care, everyone, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
so we're on, we were just in executive session, so let it reflect that we were in on a personnel issue as well as, something that would have an effect on security at the prison. And we'll move to personnel report. Everybody see a copy of it? Any questions on it? Do we need a motion on that? It says motion.
I
I'll entertain a motion then to accept the personnel report. Rocky again, second.
Chris.
Give it to Chris, he was louder. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
In regards to the personnel report,
Yeah.
and Mr. Severcek has another suggestion, thinks that it would be helpful to start showing the prison board the current staffing levels versus what full staff is needed. We see terminations, resignations, hires, but really don't know the overall staffing level for the facility at any given time. Again, it's a recommendation.
So basically 23 billets, 20 are filled, full-time, part-time, something like that.
So I don't know what the group
Right
thinks.
there, Ellie has it, it's in the,
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't list the total number of billets that are authorized compared to the number of filled
Oh, yeah,
billets.
That's
There's 46 full-time positions,
Yeah.
and currently, 37 of them are filled,
Yeah,
there's 9 open.
Yeah, I think that's what Mark is trying to get at,
Yeah,
understanding
that's what it
that.
is right
and,
now.
and it looks, yeah, and it kinda shows where we're short of people.
and are some of them part-time again, or are they
No,
all,
those
they're
are
all
full-time
full-time?
positions.
There is no part-time.
We have 2.
Oh, you have two, okay.
The only thing I don't like to let people know is that we're understaffed.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I understand,
Yeah.
I want people, but I don't want
Yeah.
the wrong people to
From a
know that way.
from a
No.
security
Right.
standpoint,
Oh, yeah.
And it's not that it's not being covered, it's just more people are getting overtime.
Yeah.
It's not,
Right.
I mean, it's covered 24 hours a day. I agree with you, Jim, that,
And I read what happened in a neighboring county in the paper, I don't
no,
know what that
no,
means.
no. You know, it makes it look like we're only there from 9 to 5 or something if you're understaffed and it's just being covered by overtime. I mean, it's there, 24-hour service no matter
Right.
what.
yeah, I don't think you can infer by it not filling that that it's not a covered shift.
Right.
It's just showing that there's vacancies,
You know,
that, you know, in terms of, but I wouldn't label it as, your complement that you're required to fill aren't necessarily what's needed at the prison.
Right, to run it or operate a shift.
Right, it could be,
Right.
you know, that number, say is 46
Yeah.
officers. Well, we know that it may even be more than that based on different studies, and we didn't get approval for any of those. Just like I probably on my caseload could have, you know, 2 more assistant district attorneys or something else. So I don't think it hurts us that way in terms of the staffing. Secondly, it's a written report that comes in here, and in all deference to that, there's a way to go around getting any type of report that they can figure out that through an open records request. So if you wanna stick it in there, I don't think it hurts us from a security standpoint, Jim, unless you're
No, no.
very hell bent on that,
No,
you know
I'm
what I
not.
mean, but we're not reading it off and saying there's 4, you know,
No.
and then, but it is an easier way to read it. Cause they could even see the number of people that you have working, what hours they worked, you could almost calculate out the shift that they have, just about by looking at if they wanted to do something like that. Kinda like you have with the number of prisoners, basically, on that other page.
Right.
Okay, alright, so we'll move to, is there any correspondence? Any new business?
I have one thing, Commissioner Nostine emailed me this, the other day and asked me that we put it on the prison board agenda. It's the memorandum of understanding between the Carbon Career Technical Institute and the County of Carbon. It's for education up at the prison.
Right.
The GD
I guess we
program.
do this every year.
Yeah,
But, so we give our approval then to there's nothing in this that'll cost money or anything else like that, it's just a
No,
memorandum of
no,
understanding.
no.
Do you wanna I guess I would entertain a motion then to recommend to the Carbon County Commissioners to enter into that memorandum of understanding. Rocky, you know what,
I'll
you
make
make it, I'll
Let
second
him
it,
make- yeah.
because they're commissioners.
Good.
Alright, so Dan made it, I seconded, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, motion carries. You didn't see any problems with the warrant, I mean,
Oh,
I read
no,
it,
nothing
I
at
think
all.
everybody read it.
But every year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty standard, there's
Yeah,
nothing to do. Alright, so, old business? Solicitor's report, Bob, you got anything good to tell us?
Not this week,
Are we safe? Alright,
as far as I can tell.
alright. Any further business? Anything good for the order? What else did Mark have on here?
The meeting time, I
Mark-
think we should wait till he's here to do that.
Yeah, well, Mark, just, guys, keep in mind that Mark is looking, and I guess he has a hard time, it conflicts with the retirement board meeting. Education executive sessions are held the Wednesday before the third Thursday retirement board meeting, suggesting either moving to the second Wednesday at 1:30 if we wanna keep it, keep the third Wednesday, consider morning meeting, or consider perhaps a Tuesday. You guys have meetings out the rear end, so
Well, that's what I
I don't
mean.
know what fits in, will go with your
And then
schedule.
even to connect up with the judge, like it's how do you even, like
We-
everybody's used to it for years.
Wednesday's the worst day for me, because I don't get a chance then to do any preliminary hearings for the DA's office, because I'm already doing drug court. Like today, there were hearings all after, from 11 o'clock on. And I go in at 9 o'clock in the morning, I don't stay for everybody's, and I go back in around 11 and do the hearings that are required to be there, or the admissions of people into the program, but they take place afterwards. But I can't, but that's every Wednesday. So if we're going to Wednesday, I can't move to a morning on a Wednesday. So if you guys choose a different day or a different Wednesday, but, unless, somebody else wants to be, unless Mark wants to be president of the prison board, then he could do that. Then I won't be there.
But I mean,
You
it's
could have it
hard
in the
to
morning.
line everybody up and
It is.
schedule something.
It is.
I mean, I see his point to a certain point, but it's tough to, how are you gonna line it up unless everybody wants to come in at 6 o'clock for a meeting one night? I don't think that's gonna happen, right?
Is the retirement board going on now?
Well, it's every month.
Yeah, we
What he
have it
does, he
every
brings-
month.
He brings subject matter experts in to do quote-unquote education. Maybe we're gonna talk about infrastructure investments, or, you know what I mean, so these
Oh.
educational sessions. So normally what will happen is the individual come in the day prior to the commissioners meeting, which includes the retirement
Right.
board meeting. So they come in Wednesday afternoon, we do our education session. Thursday, they do the commissioners meeting, it's out, the retirement board, and
Yeah.
then depart. That's what he's referring to.
I don't know what to
Can
say.
that be rescheduled?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, we'd have to go to something,
I don't
maybe have
know.
a Zoom meeting that it's set up, that we could do it if we need information, or, I don't know, it's.
We
I
can
know.
always have our education on a Thursday after.
Yeah, that's
I don't
what I
like changing things around. I think we're in a pretty good rhythm with all our meetings, Ellie, and
Well, and that's what I
at
said,
least
yeah.
through the remainder of the year, I don't
Yeah.
think,
And
we
you
should make
change
a
something, and next
modification,
one day, we're not gonna have a quorum.
Yeah.
We're
Why
prison
don't we
board.
table this till about
Okay.
November, when we start putting together next
Okay.
year's schedule,
That
you know.
seems reasonable.
you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we covered that. Anything further? Nothing for the good of the order? And then, we did the iron scan. And we did the new business. Alright, that was on the second page here. Alright, then, deem the meeting adjourned.
Good.
Thank you guys for coming. And thanks for being there for that little recognition. I hope I didn't over.